My pregnant wife and her mom plotted to replace me out for her rich ex. I crashed their gala, exposed all, won full custody, and left them begging for mercy. I'm a 33-year-old man, and I never thought I'd be posting here. Not going to lie, my hands are literally shaking as I type this out. I've been lurking for years, but now I need to get this off my chest because I'm about to lose my freaking mind. Some background: I met my wife, Leah, a 30-year-old woman, about 4 years ago through mutual friends. We hit it off, got married 2 years later, and now she's 7 months pregnant with our first kid, a baby girl. I was over the moon when we found out, until this weekend happened. We bought a smaller house in an older neighborhood last year. It needs work, a dated kitchen, some plumbing issues, and the backyard is basically dirt right now, but it's ours. No help from anyone. I've been fixing it up room by room on weekends. Leah seemed happy with it, or so I thought. Her mom, Adelaide, has always been difficult. From day one, she's made these little comments. "Oh, you work with computers, Or "this neighborhood is interesting," always with that pause, that look. But I kept my mouth shut because Leah would just say, "That's just how mom is," and change the subject. So, this weekend was Leah's baby shower. We decided to host it at our place, even though Adelaide suggested we should rent a venue, with that tone she uses. I spent all week prepping, repainted the living room, fixed the wobbly porch step, even installed new light fixtures in the dining room. Everything had to be perfect. The day arrives. I'm setting up the folding chairs we borrowed from Leah's cousin while the early guests are arriving. I'm already sweating through my shirt because the AC in our house is temperamental at best. Adelaide shows up an hour early with her friend from church, walking around, inspecting everything with this pinched look on her face. I'm arranging the last row of chairs when Adelaide corners me, literally backs me against the wall with her church friend watching. What happens next? I can still hear her voice in my head. "Jensen," she says, all sugary sweet but loud enough for everyone nearby to hear, "my daughter made a huge mistake marrying someone who can't even afford a real house. Look at this place. The roof probably leaks, the floors creak, and that bathroom, my God." My jaw tightens. I say nothing. She continues, "Thank God her ex is still in the picture for emotional support. Did you know Ruben just bought the most beautiful new construction in Lakewood Hills? 5 bedrooms, a home theater. Now that's a place to raise my grandbaby." I glance over at Lee. She's across the room with her sister Lauren and 2 friends. And what does my wife do? She giggles, rubs her belly and giggles. My face is burning. My fists are clenched so tight my nails are digging into my palms. But there are 20 women in my house. It's my wife's baby shower, so I just nod and say, "Excuse me, I need to get more chairs," and walk away like the pathetic doormat I apparently am. The whole shower, Adelaide is dropping these comments, telling stories about Ruben and Leah's romantic trip to Cabo from back in college, asking Leah if she's really sure about the baby's nursery being in such a small room. I stay in the kitchen most of the time, bringing out food, refilling punch. No one even acknowledges me except Lauren, who gives me this look like she feels sorry for me. After everyone finally leaves, I start cleaning up while Leah opens gifts on the couch. I ask her if she heard what her mom said to me. She sighs, rolls her eyes. "Mom's just concerned about us, Jensen. This house is kind of a mess, and your job isn't exactly stable." I've never told Leah's family much about my finances. I make decent money, but I'm careful with it, always have been. And yeah, I was laid off last year, but found a new gig within weeks. Her comment hits me like a slap. "And what was that about you giggling when she was trashing our home?" "Our home, Leah, that we picked together." She gets all defensive. "You're being dramatic." "I was just laughing at something Lauren said. Not everything is about you, but I saw her face. I know what I saw." We go to bed angry. The next morning things are tense. Leah's phone keeps buzzing with texts. She keeps angling it away from me when I walk by. Red flag number 1. I'm in the garage looking for some paint when her phone rings on the kitchen counter. The name on the screen, Ruben. Red flag number 2. Later that day, I overhear Leah on the phone in our bedroom. "I know, Mom. Yes, he's being difficult again." "No, I haven't told him yet. I know the timing isn't ideal." "Haven't told me what?" That night, Leah says she's going to her mom's to help sort baby clothes her cousin dropped off. She doesn't come home until after midnight. Red flag number 3. The next morning, while Leah's in the shower, I do something I'm not proud of. I check her phone. There are dozens of texts between her and her mom about Ruben, about my financial situation, about how the baby deserves better circumstances. And then I see it, a text from Adelaide to Leah. "Ruben said the offer still stands. You wouldn't have to worry about money ever again. Think about the baby." Leah's response, I know, Mom. I'm thinking about it. I confront her. We have the biggest fight of our marriage. She storms out, says she's going to her parents until I calm down and stop being paranoid. That was 3 days ago. This morning, I woke up to my phone blowing up. 30-plus missed calls, 18 from Leah, 12 from Adelaide, voice messages, texts. I haven't listened to any of them yet because last night, Lauren showed up at my door crying. What she told me about what Adelaide and Lee have been planning behind my back for months. I don't even know who my wife is anymore. I didn't call either of them back. Instead, I texted Leah a single message. I know what you and your mom have been planning. I need time to process this. Don't come home yet. What did Lauren tell me that night? Buckle up, because it's so much worse than I thought. Apparently, Adelaide has been orchestrating this whole thing from the beginning. For the past 4 months, she's been meeting with Ruben weekly to plan how to get Leah to leave me. She told everyone in their family that I'm basically a deadbeat who can't support Leah and the baby. She's been telling people at their church that she's concerned about the baby's paternity. Yeah, that bad. But here's the real kicker. Ruben isn't just the ex-boyfriend. He's Adelaide's godson. His parents and Adelaide have been friends for 30 years. They've always wanted their kids to end up together. When Leah chose me instead, Adelaide never accepted it. Lauren showed me screenshots of a group chat between Adelaide, Ruben, and Leah. They've been house hunting together, house hunting for a place for Leah and the baby without me. Adelaide's been making large deposits into Leah's personal account. Money I now know came from Ruben. My stomach literally turned when I saw messages about how they would handle Jensen once the baby arrived. Adelaide suggested Leah file for emergency custody the day she gives birth, claiming I'm unstable. They were planning to lock me out of my own life. And Leah, my wife, the woman carrying my child, she went along with all of it. After Lauren left, I sat on our couch until sunrise, just staring at the wall. The hurt was so deep I couldn't even cry. Our wedding photos stared back at me from the shelf I built last summer, the ultrasound picture on the fridge, the half-painted nursery down the hall. The next morning, I called my buddy Otis. He's the most level-headed guy I know. I told him everything. He came over immediately with coffee and donuts, sat me down, and said something that changed everything. Stop reacting and start documenting. For the past 3 days, that's exactly what I've been doing. First, I went through our finances with a fine-tooth comb. Turns out Leah's been siphoning money from our joint account into her personal one for months. Small amounts, 100 here, 50% there, but it adds up to over $3,000. I found emails between Leah and a realtor about houses in Lakewood Hills, the same neighborhood Adelaide mentioned at the shower. In one email, Leah specifically asks about school districts, saying, I need to make sure my daughter has the best possible start, unlike what my husband had. That one hit hard. I grew up in a trailer park, worked my ass off to get where I am. Leah knew this. She knew how proud I was to buy our house. Yesterday, I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. It was Ruben. Man to man, you should know Leah's been unhappy for a long time. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. I didn't respond but saved the text, added it to my growing collection of evidence. Then, this morning, the weirdest thing happened. Our elderly neighbor, Mrs. Chen, knocked on my door. She handed me a casserole dish and said, For you. Adelaide told everyone at Bridge Club your wife left because you were abusive. I don't believe it. My late husband had the same eyes as you, kind eyes. Abusive? They're spreading rumors about me being abusive. That was the moment something inside me just snapped. The sadness crystallized into something harder, colder. I called Lauren immediately. She confirmed it. Adelaide's been telling everyone who'll listen that Leah left because she feared for her safety, that she's worried about the baby. Lauren's been trying to counter these rumors, but Adelaide has way more social capital in their circle. I went into our spare room, cleared off the desk, and set up my old laptop. I created a new email account and started a document titled Everything. For the next 6 hours, I compiled screenshots, bank statements, texts, emails, everything I could find showing what they've been doing. While digging through old emails, I found something interesting. Adelaide's church does this big charity fundraiser every year. She's been in charge of it for the past decade. There were emails forwarded to Leah showing discrepancies in the accounting, significant ones. Adelaide's been skimming from the donation pool for years. I also discovered Adelaide's been pressuring Leah's father, Joan, to remortgage their paid-off house to help Ruben with his latest business venture. Joan's been resistant, literally the only backbone that man has ever shown. And Adelaide's been threatening to tell people about his affair from 10 years ago, an affair Lauren confirmed never actually happened. What kind of person does this? Blackmails their own husband? tries to steal their daughter's baby? And then it hit me. Adelaide doesn't just want to control Lee. She wants my baby, our daughter, the ultimate accessory to show off at church and bridge club, a do-over with her precious Reuben as the father figure, over my dead body. Around midnight, I got a call from Lauren. Adelaide's planning a big charity gala at their church next month, some fancy dinner where she'll be recognized for her years of service. Everyone who's anyone in their community will be there. Even the local news might cover it. That's when I knew exactly what I needed to do. This morning, I opened a new bank account at a different bank, transferred my portion of our savings, called to freeze our joint credit cards, changed all my passwords, and backed up everything to the cloud and an external hard drive. I just got off the phone with Leah, the first time we've spoken in almost a week. She was crying, saying she wants to come home, that her mom went too far, that she was confused. I told her she could come by tomorrow to get more clothes, but only if Lauren comes with her. She asked if we could work things out, if I would consider counseling. I said nothing for so long she probably thought I hung up. Then I just asked, "Is the baby mine, Leah?" She started sobbing, said, "Of course the baby is yours. How could you ask such a thing?" But the hesitation before she answered told me everything I needed to know. I told her I'll be requesting a paternity test. The line went silent, then she exploded. "How dare you? After everything, after all we've been through? After she betrayed me, the audacity is breathtaking. We're getting that test, whether she likes it or not. But here's the thing, even if the baby is mine, and I pray she is, I'm done with Leah. A switch has flipped. I feel nothing for her now except disappointment and disgust. But Adelaide? For her, I feel something much darker. She tried to destroy my life, separate me from my child, ruin my reputation, and for what? Because I'm not from the right background? Because our house isn't fancy enough? The revenge I'm planning isn't about getting even, it's about making sure Adelaide never does this to anyone again. And it starts at that charity gala. I've already spoken to Lauren about what I need from her. She's all in. Otis is helping me compile everything. Things are moving fast now. Adelaide wants to play games? Fine, but she has no idea who she's playing with. And Leah? She made her choice. Now she gets to live with the consequences. I'll update again after tomorrow's meeting with the paternity testing clinic, and maybe after I talk to a few people from Adelaide's church about those financial discrepancies. It's been 6 months. She's perfect, 10 fingers, 10 toes, and, thankfully, a DNA test confirmed what I already knew in my heart: she's mine. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The morning after my last post, I woke up to a weird Facebook notification. Someone had tagged me in a post I couldn't see. Turned out Adelaide had blocked me but was posting about me, calling me unstable, saying she feared for her daughter and grandbaby's safety. The post had dozens of sympathetic comments from her church friends. The character assassination had begun. That same day, Leah came by with Lauren to get more clothes. The moment she walked in, I noticed something off. She was wearing a necklace I'd never seen before, a small diamond pendant that definitely wasn't in our budget. Later, Lauren confirmed Reuben had given it to her the day before. Cool, cool, cool. While Leah gathered her things, avoiding eye contact the whole time, Lauren slipped me a USB drive. On it were recordings of Adelaide's conversations with Reuben and Leah. From the past 3 weeks, Lauren had been using the voice memos app on her phone anytime they were together, hiding it in her purse. That night, after they left, I listened to those recordings. My hands shook so hard I spilled coffee all over my keyboard. Adelaide, talking to Reuben, "Once the baby comes, we'll file for emergency custody. I have a friend at CPS who can help expedite things. Jensen won't know what hit him." Reuben, laughing. "The loser probably can't even afford a decent lawyer." But the worst was Leah's voice. "I just need to stick it out for a few more weeks. Mom's right. Once the baby is here, it'll be easier to make the break. I just hope he doesn't contest anything." I sat there in the dark listening to these people, including my wife, planning to erase me from my child's life. Something cold and hard settled in my chest. The next morning, I drove to the lab for the paternity test Leah had finally agreed to. In the waiting room, an older guy nodded at my Metallica t-shirt and said his son had seen them live last year. We got talking. Turns out, he was on the board at First Community Church, Adelaide's church, the one hosting the upcoming charity gala. Coincidence? Maybe. Opportunity? Definitely. I mentioned I'd heard their annual fundraiser was coming up. He lit up, talking about how Adelaide had single-handedly saved their building fund, how they were planning to name the new addition after her, how she'd been handling all the money for years because no one else wanted the responsibility. I nodded, smiled, and filed everything away. Over the next few weeks, things moved quickly. The paternity test came back positive. Leah moved permanently to her parents. I spoke to 3 different lawyers. Lauren kept feeding me information. Otis helped me organize everything. I learned Adelaide had been systematically stealing from the church charity fund for over 5 years. Small amounts at first, then larger sums as she got bolder. The money went to Reuben's failed business ventures, designer clothes, and, ironically, the down payment on a house in Lakewood Hills she'd already put an offer on for Leah and the baby. Meanwhile, she was still telling everyone I was abusive, unstable, possibly not the father. The rumors spread through their social circle like wildfire. I lost friends, got dirty looks at the grocery store. Someone even keyed my car with the word abuser. Through it all, I said nothing, just gathered evidence, made connections, waited. The night of the gala arrived. Lauren texted me that Adelaide was wearing a new dress she'd bought with church money. Joan looked miserable. Reuben was there as Leah's support. The church was packed with Adelaide's social circle, the mayor, local business owners, other church leaders. I waited until dinner was served before walking in. The look on Adelaide's face when she saw me, worth every second of the past months. Her perfect makeup couldn't hide how quickly the blood drained from her face. I walked straight to the pastor, handed him a sealed envelope, and simply said, "You should see this before you name anything after her." Inside, bank statements showing Adelaide's systematic theft from the church fund, records of personal purchases made with charity money, screenshots of her threatening Joan with the fake affair, the full audio recordings of her planning to take my child. I didn't stick around for the fallout, didn't need to. As I walked to my car, I could hear raised voices from inside. Adelaide's was the loudest, high-pitched with panic. The next morning, the text started, "From Leah, what did you do?" From Lauren, "Holy, it's happening." From numbers I didn't recognize, church members asking for more details. By afternoon, Adelaide's Facebook page was gone. The church had called an emergency board meeting. Leah wasn't answering calls from anyone, even Reuben. 2 days later, Lauren called me in tears. The church had found even more discrepancies than I'd uncovered. Over $70,000 missing. Adelaide was being asked to pay it all back. She'd been removed from all committees. The police were considering charges, but the social fallout was even worse. Friends of 30 years wouldn't speak to her. Her bridge club kicked her out. The country club lost her membership application. Joan finally grew a spine and moved out, staying with his brother. And Reuben? The moment things got rough, he ghosted, blocked Leah and Adelaide on everything. Turned out he'd been lying about his finances too. His business was failing, and he'd been counting on Adelaide's investment to save it. A week later, Leah showed up at my door, 8 months pregnant, mascara streaked down her face. She begged to come home, said she'd made a terrible mistake listening to her mother, that she still loved me, that she wanted our family back. I looked at this woman, this stranger wearing my wife's face, and felt nothing. No anger, no love, just emptiness. I told her she could come back for the baby's sake, but our marriage was over. She could stay in the guest room until after the birth. After that, we'd figure out co-parenting. The next 6 weeks were awkward as hell. We lived like polite roommates. I installed a lock on my bedroom door, set up cameras around the house with her knowledge. Leah spent most days crying or staring blankly at the TV. I focused on finishing the nursery. Olivia came 3 weeks early. I was there for the birth, cut the cord. The moment they placed her in my arms, that hard knot in my chest finally loosened. I cried for the first time in months. The paternity test confirmed what I already knew when I saw her. She has my eyes, my nose. She's mine. We've settled into an uneasy co-parenting routine. Leah moved into a small apartment nearby. We exchange Olivia every 3 days. It's not ideal, but it works. The divorce will be final next month. As for Adelaide, she and Joan are officially separated. She had to sell her house to repay the church and cover legal fees. She's renting a 1-bedroom apartment on the other side of town. Her social standing is destroyed. Her friends are gone. The charity named their new building after someone else. She's texted me 27 times, asking to see Olivia, calls me at least once a week, leaves tear-filled voicemails about how she just wants to meet her granddaughter, how she's learned her lesson, how she's a changed woman. The irony isn't lost on me. The woman who thought I couldn't provide, who tried to erase me from my daughter's life, is now begging for scraps of attention. Last week, I ran into Mrs. Chen while walking Olivia in her stroller. She smiled and said, "Your baby has your eyes, kind eyes." Then she handed me another casserole dish and added, "Adelaide came by, asking about you two." I told her to leave good people alone. I haven't decided if Adelaide will ever be allowed to see Olivia. That's a bridge I'll cross when my daughter is older. For now, I'm focusing on being the best dad I can be. Our house isn't fancy. The kitchen still needs updating. The backyard is still mostly dirt, though I've started putting in a small garden. But it's ours, mine and Olivia's. No one can take that away. And every night when I rock my daughter to sleep in the nursery I finished painting myself, I know one thing for certain. This is what a real home looks like.